Have you aboard here. If you got some calls, just you send them to Carlin. Who's working with you? Is that Ray Martell today, Carlin? No. Ray, if you get some calls, just punch them up to me. And remember, Ray, we have a special song at the 5 o'clock hour that somehow Carlin has not been informed of. I blame you on that, not him. So let Ray tell you. Let Ray figure it out, and let's see if he can do some work here. And maybe you guys can do some nice things for us. All right, we got a lot to do here on a busy show. 888 Mad Dog 6 is your two-way sports talk telephone number as we talk to you about what's going on as far as the world of sports is concerned on this busy day. We were waiting on Le'Veon Bell. We kept this segment open, but he has not. Should we be surprised that Le'Veon Bell did not make it on time or did not get to the set on time? So I don't know if we're going to see Le'Veon before the end of the day. Once Phil starts, the show moves along pretty quickly. We'll see how that works itself out. Meanwhile, we'll get your calls in. 888 Mad Dog 6. That's your two-way sports talk telephone number. The game is interesting. I'm a little more wrapped up in the game. I haven't noticed Minnesota, and I'm staying downtown. You can't gauge it here because you're in a mall. So you cannot gauge anything in this building because you're in a mall. And you're 5 feet from the airport. You cannot gauge the enthusiasm level of this city towards this game when, there's a Zara across the way and a Steak and Shake upstairs. You can't do it. So forget that. I have not noticed, and I've been downtown, so I'm there every night. I have not noticed, people, now it's been -3 degrees, so keep that in mind. But I have not noticed people going crazy, waiting in line for the fan fest and everything else. There have some who have done it, and boy, they are a hardy fan. But it might be because the Vikings are out, maybe a little weather. I'm not going to be here this weekend, so maybe that would be a little better gauge. These are two teams coming in from out of town, so maybe by the night tomorrow they'll be all revved up. But I have not noticed, at least so far, I have not noticed everybody going crazy as far as the game is concerned. We'll see how that moves it along. Well, let me get some calls, and a lot of them to get to here in a short period of time. Haven't heard from him all week. We're going to start with Hayden in Virginia, and he's aboard. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Hayden, good afternoon. It's your turn. How are you today, pal? What do you have for me?
Doggy, I'm doing well. Hopefully you're not starting any fights on Radio Row at this current moment, I hope everything's kind of chill.
No,
right
I've been
now.
pretty good today, although Chris Carlin's mad at me of FAN. I have to deal with that. Deal and I...
Screw him. Dog,
No, I can't. He's my old talk show producer. I've had a long relationship with him. I just can't forget about him. That's not fair.
You might not, but he was disrespectful, and he has a head. You can see his head on TV. It's not even as big as his ego, and he has no clue who he is. He's whatever. I'll leave that alone. But anyone who wants to listen to that.
Well, I haven't done FAN this week. I just didn't think it was appropriate to do FAN. It really doesn't have anything to do with my old partner. They just got themselves started. They're trying a new deal. Why throw in the old fart to do 20 minutes with them? And I don't want to confront Bart Scott. That's not my deal right now to get on Bart Scott. I don't want to do that. Go ahead. Next.
You are competing with his show. You are trying to bring those refugees over, bring them all aboard. They're all coming in droves. Trust me. I see them coming in boats all down the ocean right now. There's boats lined up. No one in New York City cares about Chris Carlin's opinion. No New York sports fan cares about his opinion every day. No one does. But I'll leave it alone. As far as the game goes, Chris, I'm going with the Eagles. I love their defensive pressure. I love the fact that Peterson takes chances. But also, at the same time, you're a fool to run to the betting window and put your money down against Belichick and Brady.
Well, that's the problem. I could see the Eagles win the game. You want to root for the Eagles because of something different. I agree with that. But you're also doing it, and you're betting against Bill and Tom. And that is, you don't make a lot of money doing that, that's for sure. So I understand where you're coming from. Your heart says go Eagles for fun, entertainment. They're due, the whole bit, but then your head says, hold on now, I'm going to bet against Brady. So maybe you take the 4.5 points and keep your fingers crossed. Go ahead.
That's the only thing you do. That's what I'm taking, the 4.5 points, hoping to have fun, and God forbid if they lose, hopefully they lose by 3. But as far as the
that's what I did. I took the 4.5. I took the 4.5 too. Go ahead.
If we were smarter, we would have taken that 6 when it opened up, but that's another story. But as far as the documentary last night, Eddie's not giving it enough credit. From the Jets fan perspective, it's an hour-and-a-half gut-wrenching of watching your two rivals or two teams that you don't really like win Super Bowls was sandwiched around a period where you didn't. And the biggest takeaway I took out of it was Parcells wasn't going to quit the Jets in '99 until he got that fax from Kraft asking to interview Belichick. And that's what screwed our whole franchise up. Parcells would have come back in 2000 had he not gotten that fax. Essentially,
so he got a fax from Kraft saying, what did Kraft say in the fax?
you have to go back to when the Jets stole Parcells originally. They had that weird contract where Belichick was the coach originally and Parcells was a consultant. They did well. Leon Hess decided to give, the year before the 99 season, they gave Belichick a $1 million bonus to be the head coach in waiting and to take over whenever Parcells resigned.
Well, I knew that.
Pioli gets the facts off the machine saying that the Patriots want to interview, Kraft wants to interview Belichick. He then gives it to Parcells, and then within 20 minutes, Parcells resigns.
Because he wants Belichick to get the Jet job. I understand. Yeah.
And here's the last kicker, dog. So did
Belichick give? Here's a question I have. Did Belichick give the $1 million back?
Never gave the $1 million back. Hired lawyers to fight the league because the Jets weren't going to let him go. And Kraft says he was 1 day away from hiring Dom Capers to be the next head coach of the Patriots. And then Parcells called him 1 day before and made the deal for the draft pick. So if you're a Jets fan, it's a sickening feeling.
So you lost two coaches over this, but why didn't Belichick give the $1 million back? He got the $1 million from Hess. He got the $1 million from Hess to coach the Jets. He didn't coach the Jets. Why didn't he give the $1 million back?
Well, that's Bill Belichick isn't a perfect man. Belichick's reasoning for that was he got that money from Leon Hess. The Jet owner had passed away, and the Jet ownership group was in a limbo.
Yeah, but he got the money. He got the money to coach the football team. He's not coaching them. Give the money back.
No loyalty whatsoever to the franchise. But the funny thing, the irony is, though, dog, he was going to leave Parcells after the first year, I guess 83, 84, and go to Minnesota. And the only reason he stayed with the Giants was because Parcells allowed him to interview with Minnesota. That's a funny fact. And then he felt 20 years later, whatever it may have been, he didn't get that same loyalty to the opportunity, and he wanted to burn Bill right back. And that's what started that civil war between the two of them.
Interesting. Good call, Hayden. Thoughts? Interesting call there. Here's Armando in Staten Island. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Armando, good afternoon. How are you today? What do you have for me?
What's up, Chris? I gave it a 3 pops I got, but this game, this sounds like last year. Everybody their mothers on the Eagles. New England's going to win the game. Maybe they won't cover because they never do. I'm going to call it 28-24 New England. I went no turnovers plus 7-1. I went first score will be a field goal or a safety plus 165. I went under 84.5 total rushing yards for the Eagles. And then I did one more, Chris. Will there be a 2-point conversion attempt? I got it, yes, plus 135.
Good job. You are smart. We continue here on Mad Dog Unleashed with Armando here on our program from the Super Bowl. Back after this.